Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another Chilli side-by-side experiment video. Today I thought I would set up the table and show you guys all what is going on in front of me. I did actually film this yesterday afternoon, but unfortunately my microphone stopped working, so we're back to listening to all the birds and a bit of road noise and things like that in the background. So excuse that, I'm on the pathway to getting a better microphone. Anyway, firstly, let's talk about the mother plant here. You'll be able to see with some of the footage overlaid from yesterday afternoon that this is starting to suffer. There are signs of disease, there's a bit of yellowing going on in some of these leaves. There's also, some of the chilies are showing signs of not fully being matured or possibly having too much water going through the system. We've had so much rain, it is so intensely humid right now. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning, but we are really struggling with the humidity. There's still lots of water sitting in my lawn, it's insanely soggy. So chilies do not like water. Chilies do not like sitting in wet soil. So I've had to move them around backwards and forwards under cover when it's raining and all sorts. So we're trying our best to keep these alive in these insane conditions. But let's talk about this. So yeah, you're starting to see some signs of malnutrition, and basically what's happening is the soil biology down here in this tiny container is not fast enough to provide the nutrients for the rest of the plant when the canopy and the fruiting is so big. It requires so much that this tiny little pot of soil just can't keep up. What's really interesting is that when we've got all of these nutrients on top, so we've been feeding it worm castings and things and putting a few extra leaves and things up on top, what it's doing is sending these roots up. So actually it's completely taking over the container, but it's sending these roots up into that top layer of mulch and nutrients, and it's feeding off all of those nutrients up there. That gives the plant the opportunity to get really nutrient rich, moist soil to stick its teeth into, basically. The other thing that's been good about this rain is I've had a little dish that the rain is then falling into, and then it gives the opportunity for those lower roots to drink clean water without any nutrients in it. But being a small container, what the plant needs and what the soil biology can produce is out of whack. So it's clearly not keeping up, and it's clearly starting to show signs of distress, although it is still sending out lots of flowers and still trying to fruit. So it's doing insanely well. Thank you to all these birds and everything. This is crazy going on at the moment. What's really interesting as well is I'll overlay this video. We had a backup version of this mother plant that we planted over at Steve's house in a living soil raised bed. You'll see that one went absolutely bananas. There's chilies everywhere. It is super healthy. Apart from a little bit of heat stress, it was going absolutely nuts. So it shows you when you do put it in enough soil and there's enough nutrients and soil biology to keep up, it can really take off. So that bed was completely made from living soil, #1 blend, and all of the things that we like to do here at the Shed Organics. Now, the other thing was a few chilies had been nibbled on, not quite sure by what, but I'm sure they're not faring too well afterwards, because there was quite a few holes in them, and these are a little bit hot. So you'll see that some of them were getting attacked. Usually that's signs of distress or just an animal that's trying to see what they are. All right, let's talk about these clones. First things first is the #1 blend over here. This is our complete fertilizer. Loads of organic amendments. Thankfully, we're starting to see some wonderful new growth, some nice dark green starting to return to the leaves after these were all completely saturated. Yeah, we're starting to see some nice green returning. That's because there's enough nutrients in there, the roots are starting to spread out, and we're starting to see the life come back to this plant. There's a few signs of flower sites starting to come, so maybe we'll see some chilies soon enough. Over here on the basic NPK fertilizer from the Garden Basics, the same soil that we're using, This one is starting to show a little bit of green as well, although not quite as rapid. This is all the way through the plant. There's green, some down the bottom, all the way up to the top. Whereas this is just on that new growth, which gives me an indication that it might be related to nitrogen, as nitrogen is green for the new growth. So that's where we start seeing that lush dark green. But not much to report there either. The third one over here is the control, and as you can see, there is a chili on this one, which is amazing. It's the first one to flower, and it was the first one to produce a chili. Although the rest of the plant is still quite pale yellow in comparison. Remember, this has no fertilizer in it whatsoever. So we're just running off that basic soil. So it'll be really interesting to see how this chili forms, and to see, you know, how nutrient dense it is in the end. So they've also lost quite a little bit of soil from that initial drenching, and obviously from the soil compacting initially. So I will have to top them up with the same soil. You'll see me do that on the video, and if we need to re-fertilize as well, we can do so. Thank you to all these magpies who are joining me this morning and making an absolute song. It's beautiful, but loud. One last thing is we're going to talk about this. This is a refractometer, okay, and it is used to measure BRIX levels. BRIX levels, if you haven't seen, go check out my video on BRIX levels, or just simply type it in to YouTube or Google or something like that, and you'll be able to see some wonderful information. This little device is going to help us test the sugar levels or the sugar content in all of these plants, and give us an indication as to which ones are slightly healthier. What you do is you squeeze a little bit onto this piece of glass, hold it up to the light, and have a little look through and read the reading on the inside. But we'll do that on another episode, because I think it's going to be interesting to see the BRIX levels over time and see which one of the fertilizers is going to be best long term in maintaining higher BRIX levels. So, you know, we're all seeing it at the same time, so it'll be really, really interesting to follow along. So essentially, we're just watching the grass grow at this point. We're trying to monitor what's going on. I'm trying to deal with this insane weather and try and do it as best as I can. But essentially, look, these are our clones and our mother plant. I'm trying my best. Let me know if there's anything you suggest, if there's anything that you want to know. Let us know in the comments, and hopefully I'll have a new microphone and a slightly cooler day to be filming on next time. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.